here to make sure we are live and that we are good to go here with LinkedIn Live, our first LinkedIn Live back from the holiday. Reskill with Jeddy in 15 minutes. This is something new that I'm doing. So I just want to make sure that we are good to go, that we are streaming live on LinkedIn and that we're also streaming on YouTube. So let's just check that. And if you are watching me, please just let me know how things are going. Please let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. And put some comments in the chat box. whatever you want to do. Okay. This looks good on LinkedIn. Let's just take a quick peek here on YouTube as well. We do have about 3 minutes before we actually go live. So yeah, let's get yourself comfortable and get yourself settled. This is going to be a different kind of a LinkedIn Live. I'm not going to be bringing any participants on the stage. What I'm going to do is just have a micro learning session. So we're just going to do, we're just going to do just that, a micro learning session. That's all we're going to do. So, about 15 minutes of live, followed by some Q&A if you have anything to say to me. But otherwise, this looks like we are good. I haven't been on LinkedIn Live for a minute, but I'm getting quite familiar with the structure and how to set everything up. Christy's already here, first one in, ready to go at 5:28. That's the time that I have here in Alberta. I wanted to go live right at 5:30, but since I haven't been doing LinkedIn Live for a minute, I just wanted to give myself some grace. And it's been one of those days. It's been one of those days. I've been running around. I haven't been home. And then I came home and I was on a call and I ate a snack really quickly so that I could go live right at 5:30. Because what I want to do once a month is basically this. I want to go live once a month because we will use this kind of moment to reskill and learn kind of a new skill, because Jeddy Wellness posts a new blog once a month. So when we post a new blog once a month and you get to read about it, welcome Omar as well. So yeah, you get to read about the blog once a month on our blog, and we've been consistently posting one evidence-based Jeddy Wellness blog once a month. And then we post about it. All our ambassadors, post about it. And then I thought, well, why not do a micro learning session? So this is only going to be live for 15 minutes. So in case you're wondering, and if you don't know who I am, my name is Sumana Jeddy. I am the founder and CEO of Jeddy Wellness. We provide evidence-based consulting solutions. We use frameworks that are peer-reviewed. All our research and all of the content that we post on LinkedIn, on our blogs, and everything that we share to our communities, even to our clients, is all evidence-based. And this space that I'm creating now for you for the next 15 minutes is meant to be a micro learning session. So let's just have a quick look see here. I'm going to play around here. I'm going to go off camera because I don't really think you need to see me as much as you need to hear me. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of switch things up a little bit and get everybody settled in. So welcome everyone. I'm so pleased that you are here. Charlie, Omar, Christy, this is such a pleasure. We're only going to be live for 15 minutes and I'm going to give you maybe a little bit of time to ask me some question, but just so happy that you were able to make some time to come chat with me and learn about what it is to reskill in 15 minutes. And the topic that I want to talk for 2026 for the first month of January is feedback. So, first of all, Happy New Year to everyone. I know it's January 14th. I'm not sure we're supposed to say Happy New Year at this point, but I just want to wish you all a Happy New Year because I haven't been on LinkedIn live since the first of the year. So just really happy to be here. So before we get into anything formal, I just want to ask you something really, really simple. And that is, have you ever finished a piece of work or probably a project? And have you ever thought, hey, I hope that was okay. I hope that was okay. like you send something off and then there's no response. It's like really quiet. There's no clarity. There's just silence. If that's ever happened to you, put a link. Put Just let me know in the chat box there. If that's ever happened to you, because what happens is when we don't get feedback and there's this silence and there's this gap, that's actually a huge source of stress. So if you didn't know this already, if you're not giving feedback to someone who is looking for feedback, you're actually increasing their stress, and it happens everywhere. If you believe me, I hope you do. It happens everywhere. It happens with managers, it happens with clients, it happens with collaborators, it even happens with friends. So it's really something that, when we're asking for a, hey, I hope that was okay, like, can you let me know? So the reason I wanted to share this is because I've seen it in my business so many times. I will, deliver something, and then the client is like so busy. Maybe they're overwhelmed and they're already on to the next thing. You know what I mean? They're already doing something totally different. And it has nothing to do with me personally. And thank you, Charlie, for letting me know that you can relate. And if you've been in this position where you've done a piece of work, and that's the question, you've done a piece of work and you haven't received feedback, and you're sort of in this like silence and this gap, that can feel really, really uncomfortable, and your brain can immediately go into that spotlight effect where you start to feel like, oh my god, did I mess it up? Oh my god, like, did I disappoint my client? Did I disappoint my manager? Was I not good enough? So all these thoughts start to like, circulate in your brain. But most of the times, and here's the good news, most of the time it's nothing to do with you. To be honest, it has nothing to do with you. It's just about the client's bandwidth. Maybe it's their systems that are not working well. Maybe they just don't know how to give feedback. So when I wrote our monthly blog this month on jeddywellness.com/blogs, I wanted to write about feedback being a well-being tool. Feedback is a well-being tool, and I'm going to teach you a very simple sort of framework on what that is. So maybe in the chat box you can tell me if you're watching this live. When I say to you, feedback is a well-being tool, what comes up? What comes up for you when I say feedback is a well-being tool? A tool, and does that kind of make sense to you when I say that feedback can be a well-being tool rather than simply using feedback as a performance measure, right? We don't really want to just think of feedback as a performance measure. We want to start to think that it's also a well-being tool, right? Charlie, you said, yeah, doubt starts to creep in. Obviously, doubt is going to start to creep in. You're going to think, I don't know if I did a good job. I'm going to start to self sabotage, and that's not going to be great. Christy, you said, it's really hard when the feedback is really bad. And that is, yeah, and that's a good point. And that is if, and that is a big if you get feedback. The worst is when you get no feedback at all. So we always typically think of feedback as kind of a performance measure. A lot of corporations will say feedback is important. It's a performance metric. It's something we need to use to run our business. But I'm going to say and challenge you to reframe your thought a little bit and think about feedback as more of a well-being resource, a well-being resource, right? So one of the, as you, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about this, and if you haven't, I'll put the link in the chat later on, but you've heard me talk about many different drivers for well-being, and one of them is affiliation. And affiliation basically means at when you go to work, you want to feel seen, you want to feel valued, you want to feel connected. And this comes from our rest and recovery model, which is DRAMMA, and one of the A's is affiliation, the other A is autonomy. Now this conversation, this micro learning session, is not about drama, but what I want to say is when you do feedback and when you make feedback a very powerful thing, it starts to it starts to have a positive kind of a effect on affiliation as well. You start to feel like, oh, I feel visible, oh, I feel seen, oh, I feel valued, I feel connected. And Rachel, thank you so much for joining. So happy to have you, one of our newest Jeddy Wellness ambassadors who joined this year. So if you've been following my LinkedIn updates, I've been posting a lot of ambassadors who've joined us. We have so many new people that have joined us this year, and that list continues to grow. So I'm really delighted, Rachel, that you're there. So the one thing I want to spend a couple minutes because, like I said, this is only going to be 15 minutes. So I hope you're still paying attention because after 15 minutes, I'm gonna just ask you to share some questions, and we're gonna keep this really light but also tight. It's gonna be very concise because I know your time is really valuable. So we're gonna learn this feedback mechanism really quickly. The only other thing that I want to mention is when we think about healthy workplaces, we want to think about the entirety of the workplace. We want to think about the individuals. We want to think about the group, or AKA the teams. We want to think about the leader and the organization. At Jeddy Wellness, we use a framework called IGLO, individual, group, aka teams, leaders, and organization. So when we have a healthy workplace and feedback feels like it's not just a performance thing, it's flowing really, really beautifully. Everybody kind of gets it. There's not a lot of doubt, like Charlie mentioned. You don't feel like it's a bad thing. People start to speak up. People start to do more check ins. People start to ask questions, especially leaders. Leaders will start to ask some really important questions, and it starts to become more normal. So, over the next 3 to 4 minutes, if you're watching it on LinkedIn, and you don't necessarily have to, but if you are watching on LinkedIn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to maybe take a look at this. This is our R2C2 framework. And the reason this is called a R2C2 framework is because it's got two R's and two C's. It's as simple as that. And this is an evidence based feedback framework. So, for some of us that feel like, oh my God, like feedback is so hard. I don't know how to do feedback. Sumana, can you teach me a nice and easy and simple way to learn feedback? This would be something that I would teach you, right? This would be what I would teach you, would be R2C2. So the first R in that framework is relationship. Super simple, right? We want to start with the humanness. We want to start with that human being, that connection. How are things going? That's such a simple question to ask. We want to ask, hey, what's been working for you? That's one of the first things, whether it's peer to peer, whether it's manager to a staff, whether it's you to your manager, whether it's you to your teammate, whatever that relationship is, you want to start by building trust. And feedback works very well when people, again, going back to that affiliation model, when people start to feel connected, when people start to feel that there's that level of trust, right? That's the most important thing in that relationship. So in our blog, when you go look at it, we've given you lots of behavioral cues for each of these elements as well. This particular worksheet is also a downloadable worksheet. You can also download this if you're just listening to us live and not watching the screen. If you're just listening to this as a podcast, there is an R2C2 feedback guide that you can, like a cheat sheet that you can go to our website, jeddywellness.com/blog, and you can pull. And Charlie, you make a good comment. Reciprocity, right? That relationship is going to help us build that trust through connection, through reciprocity. So asking questions like, how are things going? What's been working really well? The good, the bad, the neutral. Let me talk about it. Not just the wins. Tell me about the things that are not working. How can I help you? So on the blog, I've given you some other behavioral cues for each of those different elements as well. Now, the second R, this is an important one. This is reactions. How did that feel for you, right? We want to ask them, how did this feel for you? And listen really carefully. When we're giving and receiving feedback, by the way, this is a two-way street. When we're giving and receiving feedback, you really want to make sure that you're listening really carefully. And this really helps the people feel that sense of, I feel heard, I feel valued. I don't get defensive. So you really want to know that the reactions are not something that you're going to brush off. So you can ask something like, hey, anything surprising? That's the feedback that I gave you on Wednesday. Was there anything surprising from that feedback? really simple. You're not trying to, make it too upsetting for the person, but you're just getting a bit of a pulse check by asking these questions. And there's, again, different cues and questions that you can ask when you go on the blog. Now, the other two, so those are the two R's, relationship and reactions. Let's talk about content. Content is a really good one. Content is making sure that everybody is clear on the feedback. You don't want to give feedback and say, and add, not remove, have some lack of clarity in that, right? You want to make sure that everybody feels understood. You want to make sure that you are asking them, hey, what's one small thing that we can try? Hey, what's missing? Does that match your experience? So asking questions that are more related to observations, giving them examples, that's where that content feedback is. So you want the messaging to make it feel like you understood, and not messaging that is going to make them more defensive. So that's the content piece of it. And the coaching piece of it, I say that this is, again, a two-way street, right? We want to make sure that when we're doing feedback and we're doing coaching, it's always good to ask and get something that is something that's future proofing this. What can I help you going forward? What is this action that I'm going to take, whether it's a small goal or a large goal, and agree upon it. Hey, was that feedback too much? Do you want me to kind of dial it back? Do you want me to give you more? Do you want me to give you less? And that coaching really comes from having that conversation about the content and those reactions and those relationships that you've built. So those are sort of the four the four kind of elements of the feedback framework, R2C2. And Charlie, thank you so much about with your comments and being engaged there. Listen to understand, not just to respond. That's that reaction piece, right? So when you're giving feedback, you really want to make sure that you don't just nod along and then move on, right? It's a whole cycle. You need to complete the cycle of feedback, and you need to keep iterating that feedback as well. And Leanne, thank you so much for joining. We were just going through the R2C2 feedback framework, which is one of the most easiest and the most well thought of, peer reviewed feedback framework that is available through research. And we took that and we simplified that, and we've written a whole blog about it on our blog page. But you can also definitely look at the behavioral cues that are there. There's also a worksheet that you can download as well, which I'm going to show to you in just a moment, because this is the most important piece of feedback, is this one. After you do your feedback, right? Like I said, you don't just want to nod along and move along and nothing happens. You want to be able to learn from your feedback. What does that look like for you? You want to be able to stretch and improve that feedback in a different way. So that's the leap component of it. And then you just want to lock it in, right? What did I learn from having this feedback conversation with my employee? What did I learn from having this feedback conversation with my manager? What did that look like? Where can I stretch this feedback to make it a little bit better, or to make it, or scale it back? Maybe it's too much. And finally, what am I actually committing to? That's the lock in piece. I'm going to commit to regular feedback. And that could look different for every different person. And maybe that feedback is, you know what, every time you send me an email and request for feedback, and if that's the cue that you put in my email, I promise to do that, give you that feedback within 48 to 72 hours, something like that. There needs to be some kind of an accountability, so that we are closing the loop on feedback. That's how feedback turns into growth, instead of making it feel a little awkward, a little guilty, right? Like it just feels a little weird when you have to give feedback. But when you start to use tools that I've already shown you, when you start to use those types of tools, like this one, for example, the actual feedback framework, or if you start to use it, the lean, the leap, and the lock in component, this all starts to make a lot of sense. The whole idea with this micro learning session with reskilling is I want to be able to give you some really cool frameworks, but also I want to be able to teach you like how do you do it? How should I go about doing this, Sumana? And this is how. So it's 5:46. I want to be true to the 15-minute reskilling with Jeddy wellness commitment. So these sessions are going to be short and sweet and punchy. That's the whole point of it. So I would love to know for whomever is watching live, if you could just tell me what was kind of a big takeaway from you from today. Please just put it in the comment section because I'd love to hear from you. What was it that you really, really enjoyed from today, from this month's sort of reskilling session, from our feedback reskilling session? What did you learn? What was kind of the one thing that was something that you enjoyed? Put that in the comment box, in the chat box, and I'm also open to answering any more questions over the next 5 minutes. But just to let you know again, feedback isn't just about being judged. We want that affiliation. We want to feel connected. So I would love and love for you to try the R2C2 framework. I'll pull that back up again. I love for you to be able to try the R2C2 framework. Have at least one conversation with a colleague or a client or a team member, and just let me know, how that went for you. And after you do that feedback, that's when you're going to do this learn, leap, and lock in kind of a reflection exercise for yourself. You have to be able to close the loop and try to grow from it. And this is what's going to allow you to kind of do that. And both these worksheets are available on our website, on the jeddywellness.com/blog. You can go pull that up and keep that in your reference. So maybe I'll just ask one more time. If you could take one thing from today's session, what was it? Tell me, put it in the chat box. And I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed it, because this is my kind of first time doing something like this. We've done longer sessions on LinkedIn where we do go live for an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. Workplace Wellness Hour, by the way, it's restarting on Monday. So if you want to join me and Felipe and Ashley, that happens on Monday night, and that's typically 1 hour on LinkedIn. But these types of micro learning sessions, I want to commit to doing it once a month. Once a month, typically after our first blog gets released. Our first blog once a month gets released on the first Wednesday of every month. I know because of the holidays and things like that, it went out on the second Wednesday of January. And then following that, I'm going to do a micro learning session like this, 15 minutes, easy peasy, just very punchy, and I just want to give you the information so that if you ever have to listen to this, it's going to be like really, really simple. So that is all I have to share for you for today. Thank you so much for joining. Charlie, thank you so much for joining. Christy, Leanne, and whoever else was watching. And if you didn't put a comment, that's okay. Learning how to put things in order, I really love that. Thank you for creating this room. You're so welcome. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate that you joined. And please give me some feedback. Why don't you give me some feedback and let me know how I did? I think I'm really curious to know from you how you feel I did in this session. 15 minutes of a micro learning session, 5 minutes of Q&A, punchy, just micro learning, easy learning components. So put that in the chat box or maybe send me a DM and tell me if there's another way for me to make this better for you. I'm going to keep showing up for you every other Wednesday. And Rachel, thank you so much for joining as well, our Jeddy Wellness Ambassador. Please have a look at my posts of all the amazing humans that have joined us over the last a month. Just incredible humans from all over the world. We had Rachel, we had Marie, we had who else do we have? Shadera, we had Claudia. Who else am I missing? We had Irina-san, and Renetta. Just a lot of amazing people have joined the Jeddy Wellness Ambassador program. So if that's something you're interested in and want to join, send me a DM. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. So with that being said, I will take my leave. I'll say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for spending 15 minutes with me. And I hope that you will come back and join me again for our next micro learning session, which will be on the first Wednesday of the month. That's typically how this goes. With that being said, I will say goodbye to you. Have a great night. Thank you so much, Charlie. It's just wonderful to have everybody listening. And please watch the replay if you missed. And please feel free to share and comment and follow Jeddy Wellness, follow me, and any one of our ambassadors. Have a wonderful night. I will see you back on Reskilling with Jeddy Wellness in 15 minutes next month. For now, good night, and I will see you soon.